Alright guys, this is Lance with Solus Dynamics. Coming back to you making another video, and last week we were talking about our forage and pack and how we're including it in a larger pack, trying to get away from the bug out bag and trying to get into a more long-term sustainment where you can live out of that pack for a while. You can replenish things like food, because that's something you're going to need to do. Thinking about logistics and supply is going to be always on your mind, and what you need. So anyways, what I have here in front of you is actually a bag that I keep within my bags. I like to keep things compartmentalized in the larger pack, and what I have here is something that I like to call the meat bag. And so with the meat bag, you're going to want to replenish and have protein. Yes, you can eat edible plants and medicinal plants or whatever, but that's not going to sustain you for a long period of time. You're going to have protein. It is the survival source of food that you're going to need. So what we're looking at here, I'll get into it and try to keep it brief. I have a very nondescript bag that I'm using. I think it came with like an old IFAC or something like that, so it's perfect just to store it in there. The first thing I have are these large items right here. Now these are going to be a steel rat trap. They've got serrations around the edge and all that good stuff, and this is meant for squirrel, chipmunk, possum, raccoon, whatever you want to put. It's actually pretty hefty when it springs. You're going to want to tie it and secure it to like a log or an item. Keep the animal from dragging it off and hold it in place. But I've got two of those in there. Like I said, you can use it for all kind of stuff. Put your little bait on there and set it. So the next thing I got is a little perimeter alarm. It's kind of neat. It actually takes a primer in there, and it's got a cotter pin, and it swings on an actual spring. But you can use this for a perimeter alarm. You can set it with a trap as well if you want to hear something that's perishable, warm weather, and you feel like the food is going to expire quickly. You've got that deal there. Moving into the next thing, fishing line. This is 30-pound test. You're going to want to take a good amount of fishing line with you and have it available, because those fishing traps are going to be something that will sustain us for a pretty good period. We're going to want to stick around water sources and dominate those water sources. That's very important to all animals and other humans as well. So just keep that in mind. As much as we can fish, we should try to do that and try to get that there. So anyways, you can use that for tons of uses. The next thing I got is going to be this little item here. I think I got this from Walmart. All this is going to hold is split shot, snap swivels, hooks, all that kind of stuff, all your little fishing supplies. Put some tape around it to keep it from exploding in a pack, pretty much is what we're looking at. This little device here I made, it's just a wine cork. Drilled a hole in it with a drill press and put split shot all the way through it. Put some hooks on it and put line. You got a little fishing kit that you can scale down and put into a pocket if you need it to, but you've got everything you kind of need there to deploy pretty quickly if you want to put that in something smaller. And then this right here is actually a spring fish trap. It's pretty easy. I got it from a survival store in Atlanta, and it's called the Yo-Yo Reel. So if you want to take a look at those, they're actually pretty neat. So moving on from that, I've got the actual rubber and the launcher from a slingshot. And the reason I'm going to use this is I can actually make a slingshot if I want to use that to kill small game, but I can actually use this in alongside a carabiner to make a low bow. You would actually hold the carabiner as the handle and run a small bolt through it, like you're actually using a slingshot with it. Super cheap, super easy to run. Just take that with you there. All right, the next thing we're getting into is 24 gauge copper wire or brass wire. Amazon has this. You can get it from a what do they call it, arts and crafts store, all that kind of stuff. It's really picture hanger wire is what we're looking at, and this allows us to make our snares. And this is going to be super important when we start talking about trapping and actually how to snare. These are reusable. You can create them, store them in your kit, deploy them over and over again, and all that kind of stuff. And this will get a lot of animals in that small, in that small game range there. So can't really have enough of that wire when it's said and done. You can also use other stuff as well. You can use 550 cord, mariner's line, the innards of 550 cord, all that good stuff. But again, this is the most steady that I found to use over and over again. All right, so the next thing we got is going to be a gig. So this could be used for fish, frog, any of that kind of stuff, even just regular small game if you want to try to use it like that. I just keep the point, and you can take a sapling, a stick, whatever you want to use to place in there, and you can peg, tie, however you want to adapt that, you can put it in there. So there's that on the actual gig itself. And then next, what I've got here is along the same lines. This is going to be some of the survival cards for Grim Survival, and they're die cast. You punch them out, and this is going to have spears and gigs built into it. And this one's actually going to have fishing that's built into it. You punch those out. I looked those guys up. They got all kind of cards and super cool survival stuff from them as well. All right, so the last thing I got here is going to be this little guy. All this is a match container, but what's inside is birdseed. And I know that's odd, but you can take your birdseed and use it. I like to take chapstick or Vaseline. You can use it with Ojibwe bird traps or a drop can. Use it to attract the birds, and you can trap them. That way you actually have a food source that they're going to like. What's kind of cool is, there we go, I trapped a bird right there. That's how fast that happened. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. The only last thing I got here is going to be some bells. Like I said, you can get this from arts and craft stores as well. Don't need the bells chicken. So the bells are going to go on your actual traps, and they're going to let you know that something has gotten into that trap. And so since you know that something's gotten into that, say bye chicken. Since you know that something's gotten into that trap, you can hear it, and then you'll be able to come and actually, you know, get the game out and all that kind of stuff. Really great for perimeter alarms as well. Used in conjunction with your fishing line, you can set that up and you can have an early warning system. So anyways, that's just a quick rundown on a meat bag. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You know, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, website, www.celis.com. You know, feel free to get in contact with me anytime. I love to chat and talk to you if you got any questions about any of this stuff. And we'd love to hear ideas of stuff that you guys are running in your pack. All of this is subjective to change at any time. And, you know, get outside, play with it, see what works, see what it doesn't, and try to be more lethal and try to be more able to survive. So I'll see you guys next time.